Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to round 12 of Queensland Premier Rugby. My name is Martin Lippiett, and this afternoon we are here at Yoku Road, where the Gallopers are hosting the Brethren. It's Old Boys Day here at GPS, and a good crowd has gathered to celebrate the club's 130th year. And as we see, the reserve grade match between the Brethren and the Gallopers drawing to a close, we are setting ourselves up for some amazing rugby here at the Glue Factory. Last time these two met, Brothers escaped with a narrow 1-point win when Jeep's fly half AJ Alatimu's conversion attempt sailed wide after the final siren sounded. With Jeep sitting in second spot and Brothers trailing in sixth, this match could well be just as close. The Brethren tested UQ right to the death last week and should be brimming with confidence. After a very strong start to the season, Jeeps have suffered 2 straight defeats against Wests and Norths. So a loss here could put a second spot in jeopardy. But before we get underway, let's review all the round 11 action in this week's edition of The Breakdown, hosted by Malia Ivory.
Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. You know what's coming your way, so let's get right into it and check out all the highlights from round 11. East defeated Bond 38-27. Souths were at home for their Ladies' Day against West but took them down 37-22. UQ defeated Brothers 21-15. And Norths came back in the second half to defeat Jeeps 31-29 in another upset for the season. My highlight for round 11 goes to the boys at the East Tigers, who picked up an awesome team try that has to be in contention for try of the year, finished off by Owain Davies. Check it out. Great stuff by the Tigers. Now let's check out all the fixtures for round 12. Souths play host to Norths. West welcome East to the Kennel. In our secondary live stream, the Dragons take on the Red Heavies at Old Mac Oval. And in our live stream game of the round, Brothers take on Jeeps at Yoku Road. It's getting very chilly in Brisbane, but the competition is certainly starting to heat up, with each round being very unpredictable. As always, get out to your local rugby club and support grassroots rugby at its best in Brisbane. Remember, if you can't get down to your local rugby club, be sure to catch all the action live and free at redsrugby.com.au. My name is Malia Ivory and I've been your host for this week. I'll catch you next time.
Absolutely great stuff there, and the ladder after last round and going into today's set of matches. Obviously, University of Queensland out in front in a commanding 46 points. Sitting in second, one of our teams playing in the match today, it's Jeeps on 28. Narrowly behind by 2 points on 26 is Sunnybank. West on 23 and fourth. And then East, Brothers, South, Norths and Bond 20, 19, 18, 14 and 7 respectively. Now, I put a bit more weight behind those numbers. We're going to jump into a very new feature we've got on Premier Rugby this week. At a glance, we call it the snake chart. And obviously from here we can see how every team has fared in their progression through the first 11 rounds. And we can see, obviously, the University of Queensland with that undefeated run, they've pulled right away from the competition. But we can see from the Gallopers, they weren't up in contention early in the beginning of the season. But when they hit around round 6, they started to pull away, and they've been on a good ascent ever since. It was almost the same with the Sunnybank Dragons. We see a bit of a lull there between round 6 to 9, and they found some good form in the middle of the season. And those Bulldogs, they've been a little slow to start off the season, but once they hit round 6, they've been on a winning formula, and we see them propelled all the way up there. And then Brothers, they're kind of hiding behind a few of the other teams, but they've just been working their way through the middle of the pack at the moment, and I think they're really waiting for their breakout few rounds to get themselves ahead. But moving straight forward, once again, good afternoon and welcome to Reds TV live coverage for round 12 of the Queensland Premier Rugby competition. This afternoon, we're bringing you all the action here from Yoku Road, where Jeeps are celebrating their 130th year and are hosting Brothers. My name is Martin Lippiett, and joining me in commentary is Jay Borstorton. Now, Jay, There is a massive herd of gallopers here at Yoku Road. How much bigger can today actually get?
I don't think it can get much bigger at all. They're all out here. They're one of the biggest clubs just in regards to their culture in Brisbane. And they're all out here ready to cheer the boys on. So I know that they're going to be amped to see what happens here today.
Well, it's no surprise that they've linked it up with Jeep's Old Boys Day. And to celebrate, there was a pre-match luncheon in the clubhouse. How much will the Jeep's boys lift for this occasion today?
It's going to be huge for them. As I said, they're one of the most cultural clubs here in Brisbane. And they feed off what the old boys give to them. As you said, 130 odd years, you're going to be developing a really good history, and everybody gets around it in a big way. So this is massive for the Jeeps boys.
Okay, now let's put a bit more flavour into both of these teams, where they've come from and where they're going. We've got another great edition for this week. We're going to have a look at how each clubs are progressing up to this date and what they've got ahead of them. And we can see here, Jay, obviously Jeeps, they've had two very narrow losses against both Norths and West in the last two rounds. And looking at what's ahead of them, they've definitely got a lot of big battles there. A lot of teams that are above them in the table as it stands. So there's going to be a lot of hard battles still for them.
Yeah, very much so, but they are a good team. They do galvanise really well when it comes to this sort of thing, but as you said, you know, they've got Brothers, they've still got Uni, Sunnybank, so some of the bigger clubs that they're going to be going up against. So it is a tough road, and coming off the back of two losses, they are going to have to try and kick it forward.
Well, we can see there, it's that, you know, they're going through, and, you know, you expect to see a little round 14 and 15 probably won't be as high on their radar, but once they hit round 16, 17, 18, they're not only going to be crucial games because both Easts are looking to get into the top four. The Dragons are going to want to stay in the top four, and let's face it, UQ have been the one consistent team for the last 11 rounds.
Yeah, very much so. So these next 3 weeks are going to be huge. They've got to bye, so obviously they can't get a W there, so they really need to get a win against Brothers and then Souths in a few weeks' time and Bond to make sure they set themselves up for the tail end.
And we're going to move it over to the visitors' side of things, the Brethren. Obviously, they've had the bye, and they lost last week to Uni, you know. 2016 Grand Final, it was their third rematch of that, and they went down very valiantly to the Students. But, you know, they've got Jeeps today, the Tigers, then Bond. And then we're seeing Norths have got some good form. You know, they did best the Gallopers in an absolute nail-biter. And then the back end, it's going to be hard yards again. South, West, Sunnybank. It's just, for both sides, they've got a bit of an uphill battle.
For every team in the top four this year in this competition, it's going to be hard. Looking at the ladder before, you can see Jeeps are second with 6 wins, whereas South are 7th with 4 wins. So only 2 wins are separating 6 teams on the competition ladder. So no matter what happens going into the tail end of the season, every game is almost a must-win.
Absolutely. And we look at the for and against, obviously, Brothers sitting on minus 49, and then Jeeps are on 62. So, you know, over the course of 11 rounds, there's only been just over 100 points difference between these sides. So really, on paper, this could go either way today, and I'll be interested to see what happens.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be a really, really hard-fought game. Brothers are going to be getting up for it because they know it's going to be tough. Jeeps, as you said, it's Old Boys Day. They're looking to lift. They're looking to galvanise their place there in the second on the ladder. So both teams are going to go hammer and tong at it, and it's going to be an absolute barn burner.
Absolutely, and obviously every week we do like to talk about our players to watch, and no surprise here, Jay, that today for the Gallopers, I'd be telling everyone at home to be keeping, you know, a watchful eye out for Dan Rower. Dan Gorman, the back rower. Oh, bit of a tongue tie there. A lot of atmosphere here. I'm getting a bit distracted. But obviously, Dan, he's one of the Queensland Premier Rugby's most experienced players, and I think he's definitely been leading from the front with this Gallopers team over the season.
He is the heart and soul of not only this Premier Grade side as the skipper, but this club as a whole. Ashgrove Junior has a cafe in Ashgrove, has never moved outside of the 4060 area, and even earned himself a spot in the McInnes, I think it was the McInnes-Wilson Lawyers Brisbane City squad a few years ago, and he's a massive, massive part of this side.
Well, the other big thing is he was part of the side that contested for the Hospital Cup in 2013 in the Grand Final, and he is probably one of the most consistent performers within the competition. You know, every club's got a couple of really, really consistent old heads, and I think Gorman is definitely one of those for the Gallopers. And obviously, his knowledge when it comes to lineouts, it's unrivaled. How many lineouts has he plundered and stole over the years?
He's an incredibly smart footballer. You don't necessarily hear that from second rowers, but he is a very, very smart footballer and runs his team very well.
Okay, we better stop talking or he's going to get a big head. We're going to go across to the other side, and it's going to be Ted Postel. You know, he's the flanker today for the Brethren and has represented Australia at both schoolboy and under-20s level. So a lot of experience there for him.
Very much so. Look, Teddy Postal, he's played overseas in France in Pro D2 with Narbonne. Very experienced. He came back from a torn pec injury a couple of years ago and actually made the side last year and took them all the way to the Hospital Cup in 2016.
Well, the big thing is in 2016, he was selected in the McInnes-Wilson Lawyers Brisbane City squad. So he's definitely been doing a lot of growing in the last few years, and we're definitely seeing the fruits of his labour. And, you know, he's got a very abrasive attitude, but he's also got the ability to be consistently, you know, to get over that gain line. And I'm pretty sure if you had to say, out of that team, who is the most Brethren of the brothers, I would definitely put Teddy Postal in the running for that one. And obviously, a special mention to the sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby, including the Gallopers, major sponsor, Newmarket, McDonald's, a massive one. There's a couple of cheeky deals there for the players. And when we jump across and we look at the Brethren, it will be Goldston Legal. And we thank them for all of their support of our Premier Grade and grassroots rugby. Because that's the thing, Jay, both of these sides have massive junior followings as well.
Yeah, they're two of the oldest clubs in Brisbane club rugby, and it shows in the fact that both sides, just in recent years, have actually amalgamated both their juniors and seniors, which has been massive for the culture for both clubs, massive for the production of the players that are coming through their channels, and it's huge to see two of these great powerhouses going at it today.
Absolutely, and as the pre-game festivities continue and the people really start striding in to Yoku Road, let's run through the team list, and we're going to start with the home side from Jeeps. Now in the front row, we have Leone Malakihamia. At hooker, we have Ryan Freeney, and on the other side, Fred Burke. In the second row, we have Daniel Byrne and Dan Gorman, who is our player to watch today. For the flankers, we have Jay Havavu and Enzo Matoti. At number 8, Michael Richards. At halfback, Nigel Genia. At 5'8", AJ Alatimu. On the wings, we have Pat Nicholson and Eric Vasaki Thakau. In the centres, Stephen Hunt. Number 13, an outside centre, Malogo Cornelio. And at number 15, fullback is Todd Winkley.
Now, obviously, looking at the brothers' side, the away side today, at prop, we've got Dustin Hennigan with Gareth Ryan and Tom Sayer rounding out at hooker. In the second row, Emmanuel Latu Maofu and Teddy Postal, as we said, the player to watch today from brothers. In the back row, Ben Hine, Henry Fitzgerald and Criff Tupou locking down at 8. In the halves, Ruben Wall and Paddy James. In the centres, we've got Nathaniel Gendel and Chris LaRosa. On the wings, Will Shipley, Sam Hicks, and at fullback, Lawson Creighton, coached by Carl Marshall.
Absolutely great stuff there for both sides. And we see a lot of, I have to say, this would probably be one of the most history-drenched teams in the competition. 130 years, and there are just so many fantastic stories that come out of this place. And, you know, right now, even this photo that they're taking, I think, symbolises everything that's just so sensational about, you know, this corner of the country, the Premier Grade rugby, all the way down to the juniors. You know, it's like you said, Gorman, they're these guys and the girls that start when they're just so young and they stay with their clubs, and they not only become big focal points within their clubs, they become big focal points of the community. So it's absolutely a pleasure to get to hang around these guys and get to see all this fantastic stuff. He's definitely got a high camera shot there, doesn't he, Jay?
He does.
He's got a lot of people to fit in.
He's going to need it, obviously. There's several generations of Jeeps players there. You can see some of the old heads. You can see the Premier Grade side from today and some of the juniors running around. And as you said, that's what it's all about. You know, a lot of these guys, they go to Ashgrove Maris. They stay in the 4060 postcode. They don't go too far, and it breeds a great, great culture at this great old club.
And we can see the grandstands behind. They're slowly filling up. I guess there's probably a few people that have come down into the field at the moment, and they will be going on. And just a friendly reminder, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we have 2 streams on every week. So if Jeeps and Brothers isn't quite what you're after on the menu this afternoon, make sure you switch across, because we're also live streaming the battle between the Sunnybank Dragons and the University of Queensland students over at Old Mac Oval at Sunnybank. And you can tune into that game via redsrugby.com.au. So we get to show you half of the game, half of the teams every week that are taking that are playing around Brisbane.
Yeah, most definitely. It's always great to be able to watch as much footy as possible. And as you said, if one game doesn't float your goat, obviously you can go to the other one.
Absolutely. But, Jay, I want to bring you back and I want to talk to you about how the season has panned out. When we have a look at this graphic, is there anything on there that's surprising you? Anything when you look at these teams to say, I think that team could be doing a bit better, I think that team's overperformed?
To be brutally honest, it's one of the strangest graphics I've seen in regards to Premier Rugby in years. Usually, halfway mark in the season, you sort of know who your 4, 5, 6
clean-cut lines
are going to be. Uni are absolutely just decimating everybody that they come up against, but then everybody is just jam-packed in the middle there, and I haven't seen this tightly contested in a Premier Grade competition in years, and it's fantastic to see because anyone on their day can win.
Well, the interesting thing is we can see between round 6 and round 10, Souths, Tigers, and even the Dragons, to a point, they really had a big lull, but they've managed to pull the season back up out of the depths once they hit kind of round 10. So I think we're seeing a lot of the teams, it's fair to say Uni just started sprinting from round 1. Fair to say that. But I think some of these teams have definitely taken a few rounds. I know I was speaking to some of the support staff for Brothers, they say compared to last year, really young team. If you took Nathaniel Gendel out, I think the average count for Premier caps in the back line was about 20 to 30. That's what he told me. And I think that's maybe some of the challenges that these clubs are facing. They've got a lot of young guys. A couple of older guys have moved on, either just have retired from playing because they're a bit old, or they've moved on to bigger and better and greater things. So I'm going to be really interested because when you look at it statistically, there's only about 7 points between 5 teams.
Yeah,
that's not much at all.
Which is massively unheard of. And as you said, you lose Nathaniel Gendel, you're going to drop down the age heavily. But on top of that as well, it goes both ways. Like Brothers have lost, your Charlie Freeney's, your Teniella Tupos, guys like that really helped.
Have they lost Teniella though? Yeah. I know he's busy and he's occupied, but I have a feeling that if the brethren can kind of just keep one little talon on the perch and keep themselves close enough to strike back into the top 4, you're going to see those Reds players that aren't obviously going to be absorbed up into the greater extended Wallabies squad. You're going to see them come back down and play. Obviously today, we've got Kurandrani coming off the bench for the Gallops. I spoke to Anthony Matheson before the game. Obviously he's not going to start the game, but I think we're going to see a big positive impact from him. And there are guys across all of the Premier Grade matches today that are playing out at Uni and Sunnybank. You have Adam Korzik, you have got Moses Sorovi, and we've also got Sefar Agassi running on, and then on the other side we've got Jake McIntyre. So, if you're not watching this, go watch the other game because it's going to be as spicy an affair as this one. And, there's a lot of pride on the line. And it looks like we have both teams rallying up now. And reffing today's match, it will be Rachel Horton. And both sets of teams lined up for the Australian National Anthem. And great stuff there. We had the juniors, the junior gallopers singing the Australian National Anthem. And we don't get to see that too often, Jay. for these matches, and it's really quite refreshing to see. And I think that shows how strong the Gallopers are within this local community.
It's a great little touch to be able to have that. That's the sort of thing that breeds, a good club culture. These juniors got a chance to sing the national anthem before a Premier Grade game at the 130-year anniversary for the old boys. I mean, as a young tyke, that would absolutely blow me away. So it's fantastic to see the board here giving them the opportunity to do so.
You see the Brethren, they've got a lot on the line here, and they are going to be kicking off. One thing I did notice, Mitch Felsman, he will be coming off the bench today.
Yeah, he was playing reserve grade earlier.
Which
he
is
was shooting the lights out, so interesting to see the highest point scorer from last season riding Pine.
Well, the thing is, I spoke to some of the support staff within Brothers, and they just said, there were a lot of guys that have been performing, especially through reserve grade and first grade over the weeks, and it's the inevitability of time, really, that you're going to have these players that will be knocking on the door for those spots. So the Felsmans and the Gendels, there's a target on their back all the time.
I can't help but think Nathaniel Gendel will be okay, but look, it shows that there are a lot of competition coming up.
And James there for the start. It's going to go high. Oh, and that was
first off green.
Spicy encounter in the air, but it looks like it's going to come down. It's going to be a Brothers scrum straight off the bat.
And this is going to be huge for the Brethren here. We know that, hands down, Jeep's got the best set piece in the competition. Guys like Ryan Freeney, Dan Gorman, Maliki Kamea, these are the guys that are just absolutely driving this engine room. So it's going to be massive here for both Dustin Hennigan and Gareth Ryan to really get a good shunt on here against the Gallopers.
Set! Wait. Steady.
Wall to feed. The Gallopers. Good scrum. Wall finds James. James sends it out to the back. Hard tackle there from Stephen Hunt. Here they go down the far side. Here's Tupou. They're just outside the 22. Oh, that looks like it'll be a bit of a high tackle
12.
there.
Yeah, it looks like Henry Fitzgerald actually copped one there from Big J Havaloo. It was a bit dusty, but this is a good start from the Brethren. Good scrum early on. They got that pill out quick, and it shows that they're playing with a lot of intent by going wide. So good to see that they might be able to come away with 3 points here, which will be the perfect start for the Brethren.
Well, and the fullback, Lawson Creighton, he'll be looking for the points. Tough conditions, Jay. He's got sun in his face and wind over his shoulders, so he's really going to have his wits about him for this kick. And the wind today, if we get a view of it later, on the far side of the Brothers try line, that's where the wind's pushing it diagonally across the field. So clear skies here, though. Fantastic. Creighton from 30 out. Flags are up. Opening points to the Brethren. They waste no time, and they take a lead 3-0 over the Gallopers.
Yeah, it's good to see them come up with the points there. That's one thing they want to be doing, is if they get down in that red zone, they want to be getting away with points. They need to be getting away with points. If they don't capitalise on their advantage anytime they're down there, Jeeps can absolutely make them pay. So good start by the Brethren there.
Here we go. Bit of a slow start to a game of this calibre, but it's a start nonetheless. 2.5 minutes in, Jeeps kick it deep into Brethren territory, and they'll respond with the exit, but it won't do much exiting. And here they go, linking up, coming across. A little bit of a kick in play.
Back.
Hard times for the Brethren trying to catch ball in this sun. That'll be a penalty.
Great pressure from Jeeps there. Great kick from Todd Winkley to be able to get that up. And then obviously sealing off the ball there. So good effort by the Jeeps forwards to get there and put the pressure there on the
the interesting thing about this ground is, I think we've talked about it before, Jay, this is the last remaining East-West ground in the competition. Yeah. Wests were in there with them, but then once they did the remodel over at Cyfleet, they've now got a north-south. And I think this is one of the interesting, components you've got to think about when you come out to play at Yoku Road. It's that, especially in the afternoon, when you've got your Prems and your Reggies. I know earlier in the day, when you've got your lower grades and your Colts, it's the other way. But that sun in the face can really cause some havoc.
Yeah, typically you want to you want to either be kicking off and having the opportunity to do that. But around here, you typically want to be choosing which way you want to be running in the first half, because that's going to give you the most opportunity to be able to run away with it.
And Genia, he'll miss it. And they'll touch it in goal. Looks like the Brethren will look for the 22 restart.
Yeah, not a great kick there. I think it was AJ Alatimu who's just absolutely shanked it. He does that have that in his game from time to time. Can switched off. He's a great goal kicker, but every now and then that can happen. So not ideal for the Gallopers early on.
Here we go. The Gallopers, they're going to try and break their way out. A heavy run from Canelio. Genia from the back. Big contact for both sides here. They're going to work it through the hands. The Gallopers floating around the halfway line. Here's Mulaki Amia. Dispatches one. Bounces off 3 and 4, but he'll go to the deck. Genia. There's Matuti. It was his birthday during the week. So happy birthday to Enzo. Richards jumping in. A bit of a funny goose step there from Alatimu. Oh, and that'll be advantage. Knock on at the back of the breakdown.
Great play from Jeeps there. I mean, obviously just a bit of a sloppy play there at the back of the ruck, but they're playing really good footy. They were playing some second-man plays. Big J Havaloo snotted about 6 blokes before they brought him down, but that shows the style of footy they're going to try and do. They're going to try and punch through the middle, then try and work those outer angles, which is pretty different to what we saw early on from Brothers, who were looking to try and play those outside channels early.
Well, we're seeing a bit of a swap up here. Jay Halavu, he's no number today, but it looks like he's jumped on the back, and Richards has moved across into the flanker position. Interesting tactic.
Clearly just looking to use his size off the back of the scrum a bit, I think.
Well, the Gallopers living up to their reputation as one of the foremost scrummaging teams in the competition. Here's Wall. We're fighting the sun too. Brethren now. Just before the halfway line. They're going to send it out. It was a good run from Tupou. James around the back. Here they go on the trot. Into the sun. Oh! And a bumping piece of contact. And that will be...
Offside.
That'll be a very, very hazardous penalty to give away. That gives the Brethren a good shot. Expecting James to get this, within about 10 to 20 metres of the try line. So the Brethren now, set piece could be on the menu.
Fantastic opportunity here from the forwards, but great run there from Will Shipperley. Obviously younger brother of Dom Shipperley, the Wallaby, and one of 22 brothers to have played Premier Grade rugby for the Brethren in over the years. So good to see him getting his hands on early.
We see here the Brethren, they've done well in the line out. They're going to try to drive their way in a bit closer. The Gallopers, they're trying to slow this squirming, driving maul. We can see them. Such good ability from the Brethren. They're just snaking their players back with the ball in hand, and that's enough, says Wall. He sends it out to James. James puts it into the hands. Here they go down the far side. James, a little bit of a chip. Here's the chase. Bob, a good cover defence.
Back over here.
And we're going to come back, and it looks like that will be another quick penalty that the Gallopers are giving away, Jay.
Yeah, fantastic effort there by the Brethren. You could see, as you said, they were snaking that ball back well. Obviously, with the new rules, you can't actually shift the player back. You've actually got to pass it back, and they did it 3 or 4 or 5 times in succession there. And you could see there, as you said, the penalties conceded. It's already 3-1 against Jeep. So they're really going to have to switch on here and make sure they don't give away too many. Otherwise, definitely there's going to be a bit of cheese shown early on.
Yep. Collapse thing.
And it looks like we're going to get back into all the action
This is great to see by brothers here. Nathaniel Gendel opting to go for the line out. Saw how well it worked last time. They've got some big bodies. Expect another maul here, and they're going to try and drive this over.
Here they go. Gallopers. Oh, they're just holding on. It looks like
5
they're
metre scrum.
going to ground it, but it'll be 5 metre scrum.
Yeah, fantastic defensive effort there. It looked like it might have been Daniel Byrne got up and got that pill back, but unfortunately as he came down, spilled the pill, and all they could do was dot it down for the scrum. But this is going to be huge. Liki Kamia as well as Fred Burke are really going to have to step up here and really give this brothers pack a real big shunt.
Well, the interesting thing is here, it's not the worst place for Jeeps to be right now. They've shown their scrum a bit of early dominance in the opening 10 minutes. So if they can just keep replicating that, at least the pushover scrum won't be on the cards of the Brethren. It looks like that's just it. And from the back, here goes Tupou. Offloads it.
Tackle release!
The Brethren now, they're going to try and work their way over the line, and that'll be a try.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Time. Say again, please.
Horton's just checking it out.
You had grounding? Okay, me too.
And that'll be a try. That's an excellent start.
And it looks like it was Ted Postal, real name Turturani for all you guys looking for a bit of trivia out there. Turturani Postal, one of the players to watch, as we said. Very smart play, pick and go, gets it early. You can see here, Ruben Wall picked it up. He saw the option, banged over. You're not going to stop him from 3 metres out.
Let me see the Brethren.
Thank you.
You know, a bit of wind in the sails. They
Thanks very
nearly pipped UQ over at St. Lucia last week, and I think they've come in today's match not very fearful at all that it is the 130th.
Not at all. I mean, they're one of the older clubs themselves, so they've been there and done that. They know what they're doing here today, and they're setting the tempo well, and it shows 8-0 up. Oh, sorry, 10-0 up.
And we see there, good start for the Brethren. They found an early lead, 10 points in 10 minutes. And the Gallopers back for another restart. And they're going to go a little deeper into Brethren territory, just behind the 22. And that's a good first run there for the Brethren. Working hard inside their own. There's James for exit. And the Gallopers now working it out. Good heavy run from the number 13, Canelio again. Oh, and there's Maliki Hamea. Spicing it up. They're going to, oh, and Matoni nabs it out of the air, but Tupou. And here we go, Genia's not wasting any time. He's going to go quick. I don't know if they were 10, but they're going to take it anyway. Good run from Havelu. Genia off the knees. They're going to work it through the hand. Gendel's probing. Wraps up Vasaki Thakau. Genia goes down the short side. Very good slick offload. Here's Winkley. Winkley will get wrapped up. And that'll be a penalty. He's come right through the middle.
And that was a fantastic passage of play by Jeeps there. Taking that quick tap through Nigel Genia, singing it wide. Vasaki Thakau taking it up, and then a great offload from Michael Richards there. The man known as Kramer, obviously having the same name as the weird man himself, but great play there. Very smart from some of their more experienced players out there. Now they're 10 metres out with a fantastic opportunity to come away with a bit of meat pie here.
Here we go, a golden opportunity. Here they go down the short side. Genia works it through the hands. Heavy run from Canelio.
No.
The Gallopers. 7 metres out.
Hold. Here we go. Here we go. It'll be green. Where have I got? He's fine, but he's getting it because your tackle is not rolling away. I need you out quicker, okay?
So isn't that an interesting one? He says legally what he was doing was right,
Scrum.
but because his tackler hadn't gone away, penalty will go back the other way, and it looks like they're going to use the advantage of their scrums in the middle of the field, and I think Jeeps are going to be looking maybe for the Havalu special off the back.
Well, this is their most. Well, you can see Michael Richards actually lining up at number 8 here, so that might show they're trying to get a bit of front foot ball here and use him as an extra ball player off the back of the
Richards
ruck.
has been doing it all season. He's been one of the foremost executors of, you know, the dribbling number 8 try from the back of a scrum.
Set. Steady. Wait, please.
Brothers fully aware of the danger that is knocking on their door 7 metres out.
And this is really good to see from Dan Gorman electing to go for the scrum. We saw it, I think it was round 6 against West. They actually backed their scrum over, taking the points to win the game, and actually grounded out 5 minutes after the hooter to get a penalty try from a scrum. So they know this is their most attacking weapon for this Jeeps outfit.
Set. Steady.
Horton steadies the 2 packs. Nearly falls over.
I fell over your scrum half, sorry, and we delayed. My bad.
Rachel Horton apologising for tripping over Enzo Fatodi.
Not every day you hear a ref say, my bad, my bad.
Or a ref apologising for that matter at all. They're meant to be the speakers of the divine tongue. What they
They're always right no matter what you do.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Wait.
Scrum simmers, Genia feeds. Jeeps pushing, there's 2 feet.
Set out.
Richards, oh, not the cleanest departure. Genia inside ball to Winkley. Winkley, oh! He's just short. Ball's at the back. They're going to look for the pick and drive option. That'll be a try. I think it might have been the number 4, Daniel Bond.
I'll come right. Okay, I'll stay right.
We see here on the double take replay, Genia waited. Winkley running that hard line back against the grain, got him within 30 centimetres. And then it was a few quick successions of pick and driving, but eventually once Daniel Byrne got his hands on the ball, it was all over Red Rover, and 5 points to the Gallopers. They're back in the game.
Very smart there. You saw he didn't really try and burrow through, didn't try and push his way over with the help of Havalu and so on. He saw that the space was right there on the line. All he had to do was really pick it up and plant it forward, and he did it very quickly and very smart, and a great refereeing by Rachel Horton to be able to see that on the spot right there.
And AJ Alatimu has been put into some quite vicarious kicking positions this season. But this time he's on home turf. 24 out, 20 in from the far sideline. Strikes. It looks like he'll be unsuccessful there. The Gallopers trailing the Brethren 5 points to 10, 15 minutes into the first half. It's been quite a full 15 minutes, Jay. We've seen, there's been a few penalties that have been thrown around. We've seen our fair share of scrumming and a few lineouts as well. So both teams are really getting to work early when it comes to the points.
Yeah, it's an incredibly high-tempo game thus far. It's just going to come down to this sort of final 20 of this first half to see who's got the gas to wear it out.
Genia round the far side. Offloads to Leone Maliki Hamia. And the Gallopers, and here's Byrne. Genia puts it out. Alatimu bounces a kick away. See the Brethren, they're really fighting for every piece of Gallopers territory they can encroach on. And they're packing in quick from the back. Gendel.
Tackle release!
Red Burke, I beg your pardon. There we go. the Brethren. They kick deep into the long shadows at the Gallopers side of the field. And here's Winkley. Winkley finds space. Left, right. But he'll get wrapped up. He's got Malakiamia in support. Here go the Gallopers working through. Gorman offloads to Matoti, who gets wrapped up by the defence. Oh, Timu. Good run there from Stephen Hunt. Here they go down the short side. Canelio taken into contact.
Must release.
And that's a very, very dangerous penalty to give away to the Gallopers when they're getting oh so close to the line.
And you'll see them go to the line here, I think. Obviously, as we said, their set piece is bang on, and they really value the fact that they can get some points here by setting this this roll and maul up pretty well.
See the penalties conceded there, Jay. 4 all. So both teams, it seems like they're really pushing Horton to a limit when it comes to how much they can get away with around these breakdowns, especially.
Well, 3-1 early on. It looks like it's evened up a bit. So
a bit of a fake in the middle, and they'll take it at the third man. The Gallopers, it'll fall to the ground. They're going to try and dig it out. Genia. Pasakita Cow. Energetic step back to the left side. And they'll tumble their way closer to the line.
That's good. Entry.
And I guess it looks like the Brethren turned the ball over, and there's a bit of foul play on the entry by the Gallopers.
massive effort there from the Brethren. You saw early on, as you said, Vasuthi Kathau was trying to do his little jink and jive, and Ben Hine chopped legs, brought him down ASAP. They were able to disrupt that pill and just keep pushing the blokes back into the mud. So great effort by the Brothers boys there to be able to hold that out from the Jeeps.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And obviously make sure you're at Ballymore on Sunday, June 25th, when the Queensland Premier Rugby Presidents 15 go head-to-head with the Queensland Country Healers. We're going to see a lot of the guys that aren't in our representative teams getting a bit of a run out there, and it's going to put them on display for selection panels. We're also going to see the Prem Colts kids getting involved as well. And as always, we do like to know about our Wallabies, and they are versing Italy, so make sure you're at Suncorp Stadium on the 24th of June to watch the Wallabies clash against Italy. Kickoff is at 3 p.m, and match day and ticketing information can be found at redsrugby.com.au. You see a bit of delay here in play at the moment. Couple of niggles being dealt with, and we're going to come up, and it'll be a Brothers line out.
Give me a sec. Yep, we're on.
37 metres out from their own line. When they hit long at the back, they'll overthrow. But the big young fella, Emmanuel Latu Miafo, taking the ball there. And what a big kid he is. Very young side. A lot of young elements, I beg your pardon, in this Brothers side, and he's one of them, but he's hands down the biggest player on the field.
He's an absolute unit. You saw him early on in the year make his debut against Uni, so he's only a young fella as well.
And the Gallopers are going to start the grind. And the Oni, Malaki Amia, put himself at the very tip of the spear. From the back, Alatimu. I don't think that was the kick he intended. Looks like it didn't come cleanly off the boot, but it'll be regathered.
Not coming.
I think that was a bit of a stroke of luck for the number 10 there.
Yeah, it was a big time shank, but they were able to get up and put a bit of pressure on. So, as they say, if it looks stupid but it works, it's not stupid. So, it seemed to work out for him. So, great opportunity for him now to be able to set a platform and maybe try and get down into the Brothers half here.
You know, it's probably very often that you see, things could be, is it genius or is it stupidity? And I think there's sometimes a very fine line between the two.
They
of them.
walk hand in hand, in my opinion.
And the possession, the Gallopers, even though 60% up,
Bind.
60 to 40, Jay, they just haven't found the points that would show that.
No, they're really not building too many phases. They're making great inroads. Todd Winkley's made a few great breaks, but they're not really retaining Pill too well.
Advantage.
Advantage. And from the back, Richards floats one out to the wing. Genia offloads it through the hands. Heavy run there from Freeney. The Gallopers now. Oh, but Maliki Amaya.
Here.
He spills the ball, but looks like we're going to bring it back.
Bailing out.
Penalty against Brothers for bailing out.
Yeah, you heard her say, obviously, bailing out. Dustin Hennigan there, got a bit of pressure coming through from Maliki Amaya. So great scrum by Jeeps. Now they've got a great opportunity to bury it down into the Jeeps, the Brothers red zone, sorry.
The very interesting thing is that Jeeps, when their scrum has been on this season, it has just been superb. Like, there haven't been many teams that have been able to put up a good opposition to them.
Well, when your head coach is a former Wallaby, I think you're going to be getting a few good pointers at how to do it. But it's some of the bigger guys like Maliki Kamea that have really changed it for
We
him.
see that. A cheeky ball out the back, finds Gorman. There they go. Oh, that's a bustling run by Havalu. Alatimu. Oh,
Advantage white.
inside, little cheeky pass there. Canelio got knocked on.
Not coming.
And that was great cover defence from the Brethren. They really saw it unfolding ahead of time and nipped it.
Yeah, great effort there. You saw, I think it was Chris LaRosa just came in and shot at him nice and early, saw the line he was running and was able to shut it down. But again, Jeeps, we said it before, they've had all the possession, or the majority of the possession, but they're just not chewing it up and retaining that pill well. A few knock-ons, a few turnovers, and you can even see there, as I said, turnovers conceded 3-1. So that's what's really letting them down. They're not really retaining that pill and holding on to it as best as they should. And territory, as we were saying, they've had the bulk of the territory as well as the bulk of the possession, but they're just not capitalising, and they need to do that if they're going to try and come away with a buttered confection here.
I think the big thing is they're being their own worst enemies at the moment, Jay.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, credit to Brothers. They're absolutely snotting them and making sure that their defensive efforts are huge, but, you know, as I said, Todd Winkley's made a few great runs, but they're just not using it correctly.
Here we go. Yes.
You can hear a bit of banter around the breakdown from the front rowers.
And there it is right there, the dominance of this Jeep scrum, the fact that they can actually put so much pressure on that Ruben Wall, the young fella, knocks the pill on at the back. That is massive, and they now need to come away with some form of points in this great position here.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Don't be surprised if you see them hold it in here for a while as well.
Genia taking his time on that.
Early.
And here goes Richards. Richards on his own. Genia at the back. He's already shown his experience there.
Roll.
In the scrum, he found the short arm, and now they've got the field position. Let's see if they can capitalise. Gorman. He won't quite get over the defence. They'll send him back a metre. Here's Byrne. Byrne will go down. He'll find the metre that Gorman lost. The big man, Havalu. The Gallopers, they're going to keep picking and driving. Have all the forwards in position to do so. They're etching closer.
Roll.
That was Matodi. Genia out the back. Alatimu links up. Good run from Renelio. He had Vasakitha Cow on the side.
Great defensive effort from Sam Hicks there to be able to shoot up out of the line and get that turnover there.
Well, that's the second or third time that we've seen this Brethren sliding defence really shut down an evasive Jeeps backline.
Yeah, because the centres for Jeeps are absolutely dynamite. Obviously, you've got Stephen Hunt. He's been around for a while now, and he was one of the most devastating players they had last year. But Marlonga Canelio obviously came over from the Perth Spirit with Elwie Prinsloo, and he's a fantastic attacker themselves, and they're absolutely shutting them down.
Okay. The one before I didn't have an issue.
And Rachel Horton there just giving Dustin Hennigan a bit of a lesson on scrum time. So she's obviously got a few pointers on what he can and can't do. So, but this is again a massive scrum here. I think Jeeps are really going to try and put this pressure on the brothers' outfit here.
Set. Steady. No.
Ruben Wall feeds. The Gallopers, they're going to try and sandbag it. And there's the captain, Gendel. Back in, there's James. And James takes every bit of the tailwind and gets that ball all the way down to the 40-metre line.
For a bloke named 60, he's got a massive boot on him. Jeez.
Now, special mention to McDonald's Newmarket, the major sponsor for Jeeps. And we also like to thank them for their support of the club and grassroots rugby. We're going to get back to the action now. And Freeney. Oh, and that was a good potential steal there for Brothers. And they've done very well. They've turned over. Great defensive line out from the Brethren.
Yeah, that was massive. Both Ben Hine from behind and then Ted Postal from in front, putting that pressure on. And, you know, this is where Jeeps credit themselves, their set piece, but Brothers have had the wood on them at least at line-out time thus far in the opening 27 minutes, and you just saw it there. The experience of Ben Hine as well as Ted Postal there, and you can see right there the handling errors are just creeping up 6-1. They're just squandering everything they've got right now, and if they keep this up, they're not going to get the W today. So they really need to galvanise and make sure they can play a bit more pragmatic and hold on to that pill a bit better.
And then the Brethren.
What's the problem?
Hooker's incompetent.
Rachel Horton trying to simmer down these front rowers. Ruben Wall with the ball in hand now.
Bind. Set. Wait.
Wall feeds. The Gallopers push from the back. Tupou has a look down the short side, but he'll opt to go back down the open side. Brings it into the centre of the field. Ball out the back. They've got some options, but here goes the kick and the chase. Oh, contest in the air. Winkley will get his hands on it. Genia. Oh, a bit of a bounce. Good work from Fred Burke. The Gallopers now, they're going to have to work hard. Harloot. Genia. Box kick. It goes up, it comes down, and it looks like it'll be a missed take. But the Brethren will regather. They've done well.
Holding on.
Penalty against the Brethren there, holding on. So here we go.
Massive play by Mutotu there. You saw them, they chopped the legs, they brought him down quick, and he put his hands in the air, clear as day, attacked that pill. There was nothing you could do there. Fantastic effort there from Mutotu there at open side flanker. Great open side play.
The big thing right now is we're seeing both the teams spending a lot of time between the 22s. But then it's the team that's getting themselves within striking distance. They're finding the try. So there's a big tug of war going on in the middle of the field, and it's just coming down to a little bit of luck and a little bit of persistence to try and get them within striking distance. Oh, that's a great line out from the home side. They're going to send it out. Alatimu, inside ball, runs Hunt.
Off your feet, leave it wide.
And don't take the cookies from the jar, Jay.
Just hold.
And you still did it.
Okay.
They're both on
Is
their
it-
feet there.
No. He's on his feet to start with. He goes off his feet. He's got to support his own body weight. Can we just be really careful around this ruck area, please? Thank you.
And I'll be interested to see what they go for here. Obviously, they can get 3. They'll close it out to a 2-point game.
Why are they not rolling?
But, you know, we've still got 10 minutes left in this first half.
I've just had a chat about the rock area in general for me.
I think Gorman here is just wanting to try and come away with some form of points. They've spent so much time down in the brothers' half and also make that actually in their 22, yet they have not come away with any points bar that 5-pointer. So they need to be coming away with something to be able to say that they've got something going on in this final 10.
Now the Timu strikes. That'll be flags. The Gallopers close it up. 8 points to 10. And a special mention to Goldson Legal, one of Brothers' major sponsors, for their support of the club and of the Brothers Grassroots program. And, you know, when we talk about Grassroots Day, funnily enough, I was speaking with some of the management staff with Jeeps today. 1,500 kids they've got within their programs here for their juniors program. Isn't that outstanding?
That is an absolutely ridiculous number of juniors, but it's great to see.
Isn't that just a promising sight for the game's future? Speaking of the game's present, here come the Gallopers now in front of their 130th year crowd. Leading the charge once again, it's the only Muliki Amia. Genia swings it out. And that'll be a fantastic kick from Alatimu. And we're at that very special time of the afternoon, Jay, where the sun is drawing the shadows long and we nearly have the field covered. And I have to say the mercury's about to drop.
It is getting pretty fresh out here, I can tell you that much.
Maybe you shouldn't have worn shorts.
Come on now. I got to look good. Got to look good somehow.
That's it.
Get the pins out for everybody. They love it.
Mate, the thumbtacks.
Sorry. Just hold for me. Time off.
And it looks like Dan Gorman there getting a bit of medical.
I have no issue with the lineup. Thank you.
And also remember, guys, we do have 2 streams going on right now. The clash between Sunnybank and the University of Queensland at Old Mac Oval. You can tune into this game via redsrugby.com.au. Remember, we show 2 games every week, so there's double the rugby to show. And also, the Wallaroos played England yesterday, and they fell short of the Red Roses. A big congratulations to the Queensland fly half, Fanilia Huck, who made her Wallaroos debut at number 10. So, and also remember, we are taking on New Zealand on Tuesday, the 13th of June at 12:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you watch live on worldrugby.org. And isn't that a fantastic thing there? The ladies over the ditch, you know, and they stole our beloved Sauce away from us. And I wonder how is he going to make his appearance this afternoon on Sauce in the sidelines?
Who knows? He might be up to going live from down in Wellington, I believe.
Ran a big string across the ditch with a pair of plastic cups. Here we go. Oh, and it'll be an air ball, but it was taken by Canelio, but I think he's knocked it on. And Brothers now in possession. They're on the 40-metre line. Working it in. James dribbles a kick through.
We'll take it off and we'll watch this, okay? Be a white scrum.
And we're going to bring it
Yes,
right
yes,
on
yes.
back to
Your
that
scrum.
knock on, I beg your pardon, during that contest in the air. And it'll be a Brethren scrum. Now, I have to say, the Brethren, first 10 minutes of this game, Jay, they really came out swinging. Like, they were just a freight train out of hell. They got those 10 points really quickly. And I think, you know, Jeeps were almost a little bit shell-shocked, and they've had to kind of regather their thoughts, their plays, their players, and go, right, we need to put ourselves back into this game. And I think they've done that quite convincingly over the last 25 minutes.
You can see them doing it now. They've got a player down there, and Dan Gorman's just called everybody in, get a level head, make sure that they can come away with points when they're on offer, but continue playing. I mean, they've been the dominant side for the remaining 23 minutes or so after that opening 10 minutes, but they just haven't capitalised on their opportunities.
It looks like we're getting some halftime results in from around the Premier Grade competition, and it looks like East are up 31 points to 7 against the Bulldogs. So we talked about this. I think, the most dangerous position right now are the guys sitting in second, third and fourth, because they have got brothers South and East really chewing at the bit to get back in or into the top 4 for the first time this season.
Yeah, the Tigers have shown some really good play over the last few weeks. Obviously, they gave Uni a run. They just went down to South. They've been playing some good footy, and we know that they're a great club in regards to the players they've got. They've just had a few results not go their way. But, I mean, we were talking before, West have just gone an absolute blinding run, and then in the last few weeks have gone off the boil a bit. And to be down, 31-7 at half-time at Skyfleet Stadium of all places, it's not an ideal situation for the doggies out there.
Well, they took their time getting into the season. So, still got another half to play over at Skyfleet. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But we're going to bring it back to the game at hand. And the Brethren are up narrowly by 2 points, 10 points to 8 in the 34th minute.
Crouch! Bind!
We've got another tightly contested scrum on the way.
Set! And wait.
Wall feeds. Oh, great scrum from the Gallopers. There they go, James, out the back.
No, Green!
They're going to work hard here.
No.
Charging through. Good heavy runs from the Brethren. They're etching their way further into Gallopers territory. They want to do that, which they haven't done in about 24 minutes. Let's find some points. Here's Gendel. Gendel flies out the back. Great defence from Cornelio.
Oh, Green!
That'll be a penalty against the Gallopers, not rolling away.
You're fine. 12 needs to roll. Yeah,
And
or I
you
didn't
can
know
feel
anyway, but 12 needs to roll.
it's definitely starting to get cool, and I have to say, this commentator's very happy to have that blinding sun off the players. And that is a great kick from Reuben Wall. From Patrick James, I beg your pardon, from 5'8" for brothers.
Yeah, great probing kick there. He's obviously chewed up a few metres, so I think here you might see brothers try and play that Jeeps game. They haven't been down in their 22 for,
I was just about to say
20
that.
odd
It's
minutes.
been about 20 minutes. The Gallopers have really switched on.
And you can see it there, the territory alone, it's pushing 70-odd% for Jeeps. So,
Brethren.
if they can come away with
Oh,
something
and a little
here.
shot over the front. And Matodi, the birthday boy. Oh, he was away.
Oh, what a stinger. Oh, that poor bugger.
Yeah, they're all consoling him. Unlucky, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming
Yeah.
back.
I think you just wave to the fans and say, don't worry about it.
We've all done it. You've got the best opportunity to get the pill. But
Well,
all
Jay,
you see
some
is-
of us forwards seem to not be kicking for conversions in their respective rugby teams out. We can discuss this later.
No, look, it's all good. You always give it to the best player. That's why I kick goals. That's the only reason behind it.
I hate those thumbtacks. They're piercing.
Yeah, mate, chicken legs. It's chicken legs. It's all about the leverage.
Leverage. Wall to feed. And that'll be a penalty to the Gallopers.
Must stay straight.
And we're definitely getting the last 3.5 minutes. And I guess all the 130th year celebrations, they've put us a little bit behind the other games. And the results coming in across the board. At halftime, we have Souths up against North, 28 points to 14. And the Dragons are blowing some fire at the Students, and they lead them 20-17 at halftime. So, some exciting rugby going on. But Michael Richards behind the back flick pass
Forward off. Yeah.
won't be enough, and they'll go to the line out on the side. And remember, guys, that secondary stream between the Students and the Dragons over at Old Mac is available via redsrugby.com.au. We do stream 2 matches every week. That's how much we like you all. Just got to give the people what they want, Jay.
I've been saying this for years now. As I said, that's why I wear board shorts in the middle of winter.
I think
Get the pegs out for the ladies.
we have to discuss context here. Here we go, another scrum.
Bind.
Reuben Wall.
Set.
Oh, and it's a bustling scrum, but it'll collapse here on the short side between Maliki Amir and Gareth Ryan. And Horton might jump over to the other side, potentially. Have a look what's going on. It looks like it really folded in heavily on this side, Jay.
Yeah, you can see the pressure's coming on early. As you said before, you know brothers are up for it, so it is a bit unstable. They're making sure they can get the upper hand, both Dustin Hennigan and Gareth Ryan. They want to make sure that they're in a good position before that ball comes in and the initial shunt really rolls on.
Set. Wait.
You see Gareth Ryan, he's definitely got that little bit of an angle, but Malakamia responds brilliantly. But here go the brethren. Gendel offloads to the outside into the form of La Rosa. Out the back, James.
No.
Good defence from Jeeps, but the brethren, they're really... And that'll be a penalty. Not too sure what was happening there, but I think there might have been a bit of intention to slow the play down.
Yeah, very much so. Brothers were really getting good front foot ball there, and
yeah.
Ruben Wall was trying to dig it out but couldn't get it. But great intent here. They're trying to attack the line, and they're really looking to try and push this Jeeps outfit, because a minute to go, if they can come away with any form of points here and push it out past a converted try, that's going to be massive for Brothers going into the half.
But you said the thing we got to remember is Brothers are going to be swapping it up when they come back in the second half, and they're going to be going into this wind. Now, this wind could be very advantageous to the right team. But they're going to swing it out now. Wall finds James. James, Gendel, inside ball to Emmanuel Atu Miafi.
No.
The Coke machine on legs. They're going to work it through the hands. Some very slick passes from the brethren, but some good cover defence from Pat Nicholson will slow them down. Oh, and Tupou trots into that one. And that was a bit of a hard pass to get out, but Ryan will do well. 7, 8 metres out from the line. Picking and driving. There's Hennigan. Advantage to the brethren. They're within striking distance. Gareth Ryan. And that's a card
Thank you.
straight away.
Just hold. No, we have to wait. Thank you. Well, we're over time, but you have time for the line out, so no.
Look at Hamir, and we saw there, little cheeky
Yeah.
fake tap from Patrick
Well, time's
James,
out,
testing the
but can we
gallopers.
just
And you
leave it
see,
there?
this
So
is
I'll put it-
this is going to be
You always have
interesting
time
now.
for a line out now, so.
10 minutes, they're going to be without a front rower, and I think that's really going to hinder this aggressive
Yes.
forward pack for the gallopers.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what Nathaniel Gendel does here, whether they try to use that numerical advantage. Obviously, Big Mully, he's the rock when it comes to their scrum. He's been absolutely feeding Gareth Ryan. We saw it on this near side here before. So, do you think they might go for the scrum to try and get that pushover, or?
Well, we might get a replay of it later on, but Mulakimi in that last scrum, the first one kinked a little bit, but we saw he got
He's playing on.
the very best of Gareth Ryan in that scrum. He got the knees and the hips low, and he just ploughed him straight up, and the whole side of the scrum kind of lifted with him. And you see, that's I think one of the big challenges when you have those quite robust, big, strong props. Half the challenge is just holding them up.
Oh, I think it goes to show the size of the unit that he lifted a guy who weighs 115 plus kegs about 6 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah, but Mully's over $1.30 comfortably.
I'm talking Gareth Ryan. He's a massive unit himself, and he got absolutely monstered. So
I think that also highlights the great support from, Byrne and Gorman in that second row. They're really supporting this.
it's an 8-man pack for sure.
And here we go, the brethren. Numbers on their side. They're going to try and look for the driving ball, but it'll fall into the ruck.
No.
Here they go, picking and driving on the menu. Tupou, shut down.
Step advance.
Here they go, trying to find some magic at the back, and that'll be a penalty.
No.
Dan Gorman trotted right through the middle of the breakdown.
No.
And we see there, Gorman and Sayer. Not happy, Jan.
I tell you right now, I wouldn't do that to Dan Gorman. He terrifies me.
7, Jordy. Oh,
What you do in your personal time, Jay, is your business.
No, I've
can't have the line
known
out.
Gormo for years. I know he's a good bloke, but I also know he can
He's fearsome.
get
No, you
feisty
can't
when he
have
needs to be.
line up. You get one.
And the thing is, I think he, to a degree, they're a man down. A big man down. Literally and metaphorically. So they really need to be finding a response, and that was it. and they needed that aggression. And so often we see this with a lot of our Premier Grade teams. If they are a man down, they often play better because they know that it is so important. And we're going to quickly check out our halftime statistics here, Jay. And we can see here on the stats, obviously territory has stayed pretty much the same, 60-40, but possession's been about a 50-50 game. The Gallopers just aren't doing as much with it as they should be.
Yeah, the territory's really evened up. Obviously, we saw at one stage there at 74% to the Gallopers, but Brothers have come back. They put pressure on there, obviously dropped the pill. But, you know, for mine, it looks like everything's really even, but the penalties from both sides,
it's the penalties and the handling errors for the Gallopers. I think that's what's really crafting the difference between their territory and possession.
Yeah, they're not capitalising. They're giving away silly penalties. They're piggybacking Brothers down the field, and then when they are in good position, they're dropping pill.
All right, well, it is half-time here, and we see the juniors in the background having a wonderful trot of it. The Brethren are up 10 points to 8. We still got another 40 minutes to go. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, follow on to find our second half stream. If you are on YouTube, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back in a second with all the second half action. And if you're just joining us for the first time, or if you are rejoining us for the second time, welcome down to Yoku Road, where the Gallopers, in their 130th year anniversary celebrations, are hosting the Brethren here. And it's been such a tight match, 10 points to 8. Now, we do this every week, and we'll use the backdrop for the Premier Power Plays winner recipient. Obviously, this week we had Dennis the Menace with Oscar Dennis from Bond, Mr. Whippy with Shiwa Perry from West, Scorin Horan with some slick offloads, and Alex Horan from UQ, and option D was Tonga Truck with the big man Tonga Mafu from Norths for our 4 options. And the winner of this week's Power Play, who voted on option D, was Rain Warren. So Rain, thank you very much for entering. You've got 4 tickets to this year's Premier Grade Grand Final for the Hospital Cup over at Ballymore coming your way. Reds Rugby will be in contact with you. Now, it's the Jeep's 130th year anniversary, and with the celebrations taking place today, our halftime interview guest is one of our joint hosts for the weekly breakdown, and he hosted today's Old Boys Luncheon here at Yoku Road. Michael Atkinson, welcome.
Thanks, Marty. Good to be here. Pleasure to be part of the broadcast, actually. It's my first time. Dave
I know. You better be careful. Otherwise, Jable might get jealous to see you having so much fun in the chair. Now, Atco, how did the old boys luncheon go? Got it out?
Yeah, really good, Marty. I had about 60 people in attendance, which exceeded number expectations they were wanting.
What was the oldest, how to say this the right way, the player who played in the oldest team?
There would have been a few that were playing in the 50s, and there was definitely some from the 60s, because the main objective of the luncheon today was to pay homage to the 3 premiership years of 61, 72 and 96. It's been a bit of a long drought. But there was a very, very strong representation of 1961. So those guys who were playing back in the 50s and 60s.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, Jeeps is obviously celebrating their 130th year today. Has the turnout here at Yoku Road surprised you?
No, not at all. I mean, this is just playing brothers alone is a massive day for the club, and being able to celebrate a huge milestone like 130 years, we expect this many people to turn out. And I think, from a corporate point of view, there's one side of the field the fans won't be able to see, but the corporate tents, there's about 500 people filling those, and there'd be another probably nearly 1,000 or more on the other side of the field as well.
There's about 3,500 people here minimum. Because they're on every... I'll tell you what, though, it is so much nicer when that sun finally sets. Everyone just cops it, but then it gets suddenly really cold. So
it's an interesting perspective. It's you do cop the sun, but then as soon as the sun dips below, I think that's Mount Nebo or something.
Well, do you think the Jeeps running in from the west in first half? A bit of a home field, insider tip there.
That's a home ground
advantage.
Yeah, advantage. A bit of knowledge there. If you win the toss, you always go, we'll run away from the hill so the opposition gets
you're
the sun in the eyes.
running away from the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Jeeps old boy yourself, but with the 130th anniversary, this outstanding crowd with all of the old boys present, how much will a win mean today for everyone?
Oh, on that, the sentimental value alone will be massive. As I said before, just purely playing brothers is a big occasion for Jeeps anyway. Celebrating 130 years adds to that. So to be able to say, we beat brothers, and to be able to really kick off celebrations for 130 years
it's like about a 5-tier cake, and you get to put the cherry on top of the 5 tiers, really, isn't it?
It's actually been 5 tiers have all gone our way so far. We've won every grade. I think Colts 1 is the only game we've lost so far. We've won every other game.
Worst blokes. Just letting the club
Yeah, so
down.
they'll be doing the pack down tonight, that's for sure. But yeah, no, and in the context of the season, a win over brothers tonight is huge as well.
Now, we looked at this earlier in the broadcast, and we talked about all the teams. Obviously, Uni is just eons ahead.
Yeah.
And, they've really, they've only got to get a few more games under the belt, and they're like a finals berth for them is pretty much guaranteed. But it's so interesting to see, we've got about 6 teams, Sunnybank, Jeeps, South, East and Brothers. They're all hovering within about, 1 to 8 points from each other. It's so close in the middle.
It is close. It's incredible, and it's turned out to be true. I was chatting to a lot of coaches before the season kicked off that they were saying this competition this year was going to be close as it's ever been, and that's the way it's run. And as you mentioned, from second down to almost second last, with 6 games to go, there's still plenty of movement that could happen.
Well, we also talked about it earlier in the first half about the journeys that both of these teams have got ahead of them, and it looks like for the most part it's going to be a bit of a heavy-ended 6 rounds for them coming up, and they're playing a lot of the top contending sides. So, do you think it's only up from here for the Gullivers?
Well, I mean, if they get a win today, it's up for them because you can put a bit of a gap between them and at least the teams that are outside the 4 at the moment. If other results today go their way, they could put a gap between themselves and 3rd and 4th even. But I know for Jeep's draw in particular, they finished the year with Uni.
Ali and Wellesby at the same time.
Yeah, that's a huge day, and if they're in strife, struggling to make the finals, that's a big ask to beat Uni to get into the finals. So winning here today is what they really need to accomplish.
It's just the start.
It's just the start.
All right, Michael Axon, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Marty. Been a pleasure. I'll give you back to these dulcet tones of J-Ball. Face for radio and a voice for print.
And we're away here, second half. Here they go. Bit cooler on the field, and J-Boy, he's back live now.
Yeah,
Copping a bit of a tongue lashing there from one of his breakdown co-hosts.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words there, Racco. Appreciate it.
Now, children. Now, just for everyone, every Friday during the Queensland Premier Grade Rugby competition, we also release QPR Weekly, and it gives you the lay of the land, a taste of what's to come. It includes all wiki content, stories, team lists, and much, much more. This week's program revealed the 12 St George Queensland Reds, who have returned to clubland today, as well as a look at how young Aussie 7-star Tate McDermott is travelling at his new home at UQ. And it sounds like that home's a bit under threat over at Old Mac Oval, 20 points to 17. That sounds like a rip snorter.
Oh, doesn't it? That they can play the house down, those Dragons boys.
And we see Gorman there taking quite a casual line out. And Byrne will then trot back in. And here we go out the far side. A bit of wheels. for the Gallopers. They're looking to strike first. They want to get first blood in this second half. Good run there by the winger, Pat Nicholson. The Gallopers, Matodi makes them pay for not getting him down to the ground. Valu puts it through, bit of work out wide, and Vasakeith the cow. I don't want to say he wasn't quick enough because he's pretty quick.
Sure, I don't think anybody was going to catch that pill, but great intent by Jeeps here. You saw that pill from Stevie Hunt out to Pat Nicholson was an absolute ripper, and now they're playing that second man play, so I think they're really going to try and run this brothers unit off the field in this opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, we got a bit of an injury in back play there. Such good insights there from Atco. You know, there's a lot going on here, and really great to see them embrace and keep adding so much more history every year to this competition. And, you know, we see it every time we're out here commentating. We're behind all of the old boys tents, all the major sponsor tents over here on the northern side.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great to see someone like Atco, you know, an old head of the club, been here for years, you know, Brisbane's hottest dad. He's going to probably have a few tykes running around here soon, so it's good to be able to pick his brain and just see exactly what makes, you know, the Jeeps boys tick.
Have we got a sub for?
And it looks like we're just trying to get everything in.
Hey, sorry, I'm not.
And Rachel Horton out there, she is on the front lines, managing both of these phenomenal teams this afternoon. But the Brethren, they are up 10 points to 8.
He's coming.
And something that we are forgetting to comment on is the Jeeps have still got another 8 or so minutes with only 14 plays.
Yeah, true. I actually forgot about that. Big Mully's off the bench for another 8 minutes, which is massive. So
really going to try avoid scrumming, and I think brothers are really going to try and push on scrumming. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, good 10 minutes. So I want to play them as well. The captain's just gone off. With 2 minutes into the second half, they just weren't ready for a sub, okay?
So I think on the wire there, we just heard Curran. I think Daniel Gendel might have left the field. Here we go, the Brethren, they hit it out the back, they do well. Good hands there from Ben Hine. Through the hands. Oh, that was a nasty run. Just went straight through. Oh, they're going to work out wide. Through the hands. Here go the Brethren, they can't catch him. He's jogging away. Offloads, loose ball, knock on. Matodi cleans it up. Here come the Gallopers, they've got some time. They're going to kick it down, and then, whoa. And the old boys, the murmur from the crowd.
This time. Thanks. I know, but your player's knocked out. Just give me a sec, we got time on.
And a special mention to McDonald's Newmarket. They are the major sponsor of Jeeps. And we like to thank them for their continuing support of the club and for grassroots rugby. Could be a couple of Big Macs going out the door this afternoon.
Yeah, well earned. Always deserve a bit of a quarter pounder after a big game.
Hey, there's a big difference between a Big Mac and a quarter pounder.
Yeah, not when you buy both.
I think that's part of being the front row, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Why else would I play front row?
And do conversions.
Yeah, exactly. You get the best of both worlds. Getting all the glory from kicking all the points and then getting all the feeds after the game. What's not to love about it?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the inner workings of the front rower's mind. Now, make sure you're at Ballymore on Sunday, the 25th of June, when the Queensland Premier Rugby Presidents 15 go head-to-head with Queensland Country Healers. Now, Jay, that also includes we're going to have a Colts side, there's going to be a Reggie side. The Healers are going to come down off the range. It's going to be just a fantastic day. Sunday. It's also the day after the Halliball and what will be one of the best games, I think, of this season in round 17 between the Gallopers and Uni for the Wellesby Cup and the Harley Appleby Memorial. And we're going to be, 2 weeks out from finals?
Yeah, so it's going to be an absolute ripper rolling into the finals there. And obviously, as you said, the Harley Appleby Ball, great cause, great. It's a great event that the guys at Uni hold. And then, as you said, rolling into that final round against Uni and Jeeps. Obviously, it was a hard-fought game early on in the season. There was a few contentious calls, a few yellow cards. I think Dan Gorman and James Herbert both copped a bit of cheese, so they'll be looking to fire up.
I actually saw James Herbert early. He has an injury at the moment, bit of a broken ankle. No, broken tip. Broke one of the big ones.
Either way,
and he says he might be back towards the back end of the season, which is good. And we see here on the table, obviously, Jeeps on 28 points. They got 9 points on Brothers, so a good win from Brothers today could propel them ahead of West.
Yeah, most definitely. And look, anybody anywhere from 2 through 7, if they get a win here today, it could push them up closer. A loss from anywhere in the top 4 could push you out. It's really congested, and it's awesome to be able to have those little dynamic things going on from week to week to see who goes in and who goes out.
And I think because we're a little bit behind the other Prem grade matches today, we're going to be gifted with all those results about 5 to 10 minutes out from our game finishing here. So absolutely sensational timing. All the guys and girls watching at Sunnybank and UQ, they can just flick over to our stream and keep the train rolling, as it were, as it will be. And here we go. That which Jeeps have been trying to avoid for about 3 minutes. They finally have to front up.
Set! Wait.
Oh, Jeeps!
Straight.
Oh, Nigel Genia thought it was on.
Wait, it still hasn't hooked.
And
You got a hooker. Here we are.
And you don't
wave,
forget
okay?
that head.
I'll wave.
Trent Anderson. Now there's a guy that has been around for a few years.
Yeah, it's good to see the big baldies up in the front row. Fellow brothers of mine.
Crouch! Bind!
Anderson, he'll provide some of the horsepower they need, a man down. Here they go, Jeeps, they're already putting an early push on, 7 men to 8. Wall feeds. Gallopers, unbelievable push with only 7 in the wheelhouse. Here they go, good little run there from La Rosa.
Inside.
From the back, good strike from James. Pushed it down the side, but Jeeps are going to get the quick restart. Here's Winkley. Winkley steps to the right. 2 defenders to take him down. Working through, Vasakitha Cow. Oh, and that looks like Mr. Kurandrani's on the paddock too for the Gallopers. Things are set to get very exciting, and that, I believe that might be a mark. Or was he out of control?
Don't know.
Give me a sec. Did you see him pull him up?
What was that?
Did you see him pull him up?
Yeah, he's called
He's called the mark?
He's called the mark if you're happy with the take.
Yeah, I'm happy with the take. He's
Oh
gonna
my
touch,
word, that
I'm
has to
happy
be
with
one
take
of the
anyway.
sickest
So we'll go
marks.
back, so go
We're
back.
going to look at the double take replay. And I don't want to say, he's just held on to that long enough, but
I don't know. I think you'd have to give it to him. You could see he did control it, but then obviously spilled a little bit. But he called the mark early, so
he called the mark when it counted. And see, that's I think that can go either way. You're going to have some people to say no, and you'll have some people saying yes. And obviously, the majority of the old boys crowd that are right next to him have all said.
I can tell you right now,
they've
there's
all-
about
they all
300
made-
blokes down there that aren't pumped to see that.
And here we go. They're going to work it through. Winkley is returned to sender. Great defense from the brethren. Pick and drive here. Genia gets it out. Alatimu is picked up and put down by Hine. Genia, Matodi, quick hands.
Release White.
Finds Gorman. Gorman does well with the long plays. Genia back into the pocket. Alatimu kicks it downtown. He's got some wind. It's going to fly. Oh, but he's not going to miss the catch this time. And here we go. Great run there from Patrick James. Oh, and that is a fantastic tackle from Byrne. Ball's at the back, and that'll be a knock on. What great attacking pressure from Jeeps. You wouldn't even know they're missing a man right now.
No, I mean, the defensive effort from Brothers was huge, but then right there you saw Paddy James. Great play. He obviously caught the pill on the full despite all the jeers and the cheers from the boys in the crowd there. And very smart play to be able to get it there, but just the support and the defensive pressure from Jeeps was massive.
Yeah, I'll come back this side. Thank you.
And you see, I think he might have also made the mistake that great piercing run, but there wasn't much support around for him.
No, he did lose it there. I mean, he's a very smart footballer. He's only a young fella who's Stixie, otherwise known as Paddy James, and he's only one of, I think, 13 father-son combinations that have been played at Premier Grade together at Brothers. So, you know, he's got the lineage there, and he's a very smart footy player, but just unfortunately.
Do you know there are 5 Skeltons?
What, just in general? Or?
In general, 5 Skeltons. They've currently got 2, and there's another 3 on the way.
Yeah, I know their old man, Big Ernie himself, who was actually a Premier Grade player for West when they won the Hospital Cup 10 or so years ago. And he's been busy, and he's got 5 sons that are all going around the traps there.
Gone into mass production.
I know how big Ern is, so I'd hate to see what their food bill is because his sons are absolutely enormous.
No, that's one of the other great things I do like about Brothers as the club. A lot of family lineage from generation to generation. The guys that are playing in, you know, you'll see they're playing, then their sons will play. They've got just really family orientated. Both of these clubs are.
Well, I mean, Ryan Freeney's a good example. His cousin, obviously, Charlie Freeney, 100-gamer for Brothers. Charlie's old man was actually Mick Freeney, his former Brothers, Queensland and Wallabies legend. So, you know, that goes...
Pedigree.
It shows. I mean, you've got Freeney for Jeeps out here, but he's got a long lineage of Brothers, you know, 2 of the oldest clubs in the comp.
We just need to...
As long as they're staying in the game and playing in the QPR, I'm happy as Larry.
Subs on both sides, but we need to keep the ability, don't early engage, don't stand up still. Can we just go back? We know what we're doing. Please, thank you.
Now he's just coughed a spray from Rachel Horton as well.
There's the mark.
And what a match Rachel Horton's having today. She's really laid down the law of the land, and I think we've had it's been quite a fair, you know, entertaining battle between these two sides.
Very free flowing, but at times she's ruled well. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's had a great one thus far, I reckon.
Steady.
Nigel Genia feeds. Is that 8 players? I believe that might be a cheeky winger. Pat Nicholson jumping in for the flanker position. And there's Richards doing what he does best, finds the penalty, holds possession.
That was all Pat Nicholson.
20-odd years of pent-up, you know, forward ability unloaded in one scrum. And 49 minutes on the clock. We're going to see, potentially, Maliki Ahmed coming back onto the paddock very shortly. Great toe from Genia.
What number off, sorry? 7? 17.
That's an absolute beauty of a kick, but you can hear right there, Trent Anderson's going off, and Big Mully's coming back on, so they've got a full regiment, 6 metres out. This is massive for Jeeps. I think you're definitely going to see a rolling ball here. And if it were me, I'd get Pat Nicholson back in there. He's obviously the strongest player in the forward pack.
Now. 5-man option, very cheeky, 6 metres out by Jeeps.
Are you in or are you out? If this happens again, we'll stay out.
How interesting. Oh, and they've just missed the speedy reset. Here they go, Brothers, they've got the ball 8 metres out from the line. They're going to try and do something with it, but it looks like Jeeps will sour their efforts to get out of the end zone. At the back, Wall squares up, goes to the back, James for the exit. And he'll put some 20 metres on for that Jeeps line out. So that's another thing. Patrick James, his kicking for exit today has just been so spot on. He's really alleviated a lot of big pressure that Jeeps have been piling on.
Very handy left boot on him. He's done a great job there.
Here we go, line out. Freeney for the feed. They do well. They hit it at the front. And that was very, very clinical there from Brothers. They let Jeeps push it down to the ground themselves, rob them of the rolling maul. Genia calls them out. Oh, and that'll be spilt milk by Gorman.
First off, Blue.
Oh, it looks like there's a... He's been back on the field for 90 seconds and he's already causing trouble.
Yeah, you saw, I think it was big Teddy Postal and Dan Gorman going at it a bit there, two feisty characters. So good to see both the players to watch for today as well. Absolute mongrels.
And special mention to Ray White Ascot, one of Brothers' major sponsors, and a big thank you for their continuing support of the club and grassroots rugby. Back to the scrum action here. Yoku Road, the glue factory, home of the Gallopers.
Yes. Yep, go.
Here they go from the back. They're going to work it through. Bit of flashy play there. Looks like Eli Bailey's jumped on the field for Captain Nathaniel Gendel. And here we go. High kick from Alatimu, straight up and down, 30 metres. Oh, I think Pat Nicholson just copped the boot to the chest. This is Sparta, said Patrick James in that one.
No arms. No, the air was fine. Or there was no.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it did too much to him though. He's not the biggest fella, old Stixie. You don't get called Stixie because you love the gym.
You might like the bush.
Who knows?
No, not yet.
Only Stixie knows.
Did you do something I missed? Did you do something I missed?
Quite the funny engagement there between Horton and Malakia Mia.
Just take half a step for me.
And here we go. Good line out from Brothers. They're going to work in. This is the best sniff they've had this half. Coming in close. Wall. Swings it out. Oh, gets him down low. Safe there. Wall ducks it, yanks it out, finds James. They're going to work down the far side. Good work from Bailey. Up. And there's a man we haven't seen too much of this half so far. It's Mr. Kurandrani, Chris Kurandrani. He's on the field. He's on release from the Reds this week, and we're seeing him down here playing in the 130th. And those handling errors, Jay.
Yeah, massive, massive. But it seems to be coming a bit closer, obviously. I think it was 9-3 early on, but there you can see as well the turnovers. So, if anything, Jeeps has actually tightened it up a bit in the first sort of 15-odd minutes of this half, and it's Brothers now doing it. But then you can see up there as well, the penalties conceded, 10-8.
So, as we talked about this, they're being their own worst enemy. They were doing it in the first half. They've slowed down a little bit, but it's
still not good enough.
It's reoccurring for them.
Yeah.
Genia. Locked eyes with Horton, and here they go. Great work. And there we go, advantage again. And that is fantastic work. And here's the quick restart from Harry Symes. From the back, Masaki Thakau. The Gallopers, they're not wasting any time here. Momentum, their biggest ally. Working it through the hands. Alatimu floats over the top. Here's Kurandrani. Kurandrani through 1, through 2, 3 brings him up. Winkley off the offload and then linked up with Canelio. That was
I've just got a call in my ear.
out of nowhere.
Thank you. Yeah, you got the mark, Geordie. We'll play. Thank you. Thank you. I got a foul play report. I'll just take it. We've got time off.
Bit of foul play, it looks like they're saying here.
That was...
Time's off. Time's off.
While time is off, we're going to come here. We're going to have a look at this replay, Jay. Double take replay. Lightning. It starts. Alatimu floats it out. And here's Kurandrani. Look at that explosive speed. Works his way through 3 defenders, offloads to Winkley. And I thought, Canelio probably thought dead to rights. That's 5 points for the home side.
Yeah, I think that's just more of a spectacle to the AR there.
Both holding each other's jerseys, pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
But then number 2, Green,
Yes.
has thrown a punch.
Okay. Okay.
So he came in and threw a punch.
Okay.
Number 2, Green.
So we're talking striking, red card here too.
Yep. Number
Yes.
2.
Number 2?
Number 2.
Yep. Okay.
That was the only punch thrown.
Okay. Thank you. We'll talk about the scrum penalties later, but this isn't about this. So I have a foul play report here. There was just a little push and shove, and then I have a punch thrown by your number 2. Punch is striking, so we have to go red. Thank you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And that's Ryan Freeney. Done for the match.
Yeah, you
my
heard
mark.
Red card for striking.
Yeah, you could see, I think it was Maliki Kamea and someone else was just having a bit of a push and shove up at the top
We're
of the
still
screen
time off,
there.
so
and
no
then
mad
it
rush.
turns out
We'll
Freeney came out of
wait for
nowhere
everyone
and
to get.
slugged him.
Can we
So
just be a bit more lenient with the knock-ons?
Now, we didn't get to
Chance
see
to play.
any
That's
of
what I
the,
thought.
you know, what led into the altercation, but
if it's a knock-on, it's a knock-on.
that's a
and if it's
massive
not,
blow
but-
because
okay? And you guys
Ryan
need to
Freeney
stay. You guys need to stay in the scrum, okay? I get your point.
has
but-
been surgical
Okay, here we are.
in the lineouts today. And I'm not sure who is going to, you know, fill those shoes right now, but they're not only big shoes to fill, they're so vital because it's part of the Jeeps attack. It's their scrum and their lineout that's really giving them good field position.
yeah, so that's absolutely massive. And I mean, if you really boil it down, pretty silly play from Freeney there. One of the most experienced in this squad, and to come in and slug someone. Rachel Horton, perfect decision, striking red card.
There we go.
Clear as
Great,
day.
great take from Hines. Sends it out. Here's Tupou. Tupou. Bust through, but that is all credit where credit's due. Jeeps took advantage of a neglected breakdown by the brethren, and they've pinched the ball. Alatimu sends it out wide. Richards will go down. Genia gives it to the unsuspecting Gorman. Alatimu out the back. Great kick. Got some good legs on it, and it's going to roll. That's something you don't see too often in a Premier Grade match, a rolling ball after a kick. But Pat James, he'll put in a kick of his own. It'll head over the sponsors' tents. Well, it's right near us, actually.
Good purchase to get out of their red zone there. It turned a bit sour there. Obviously, I think it was Lawson Crichton let it roll through his feet, but they were able to get back and bury it deep. So, you know, it's got to be tough. We've seen Jeeps were down with for 10 minutes without anybody scoring any points. So if they can do it for another 25, this is going to be a massive one if Jeeps can try and get up.
We've got a sub. We got a sub. I've got time off. Time off. Time off. I've got time off.
And
They're calling. I've got time off then. They're calling for a sub.
thought Nigel Genia was going to jump in to throw the line out for a second there.
Yeah, a bit of the old 7 style.
Oh, time off.
Oh.
This is going to be the longest second half in the history of the world, I think. But yeah.
Rachel Horton,
Okay.
longest
Wait.
second half.
Okay.
And it looks like Troy Simpkin is coming on. Oh, that's a very cheeky line out. Simpkin does so well. Genia from the back. Offloads it. Good heavy-hearted run from Mitch King. Welcome back to Premier Rugby. Gorman brutes his way over the 22. Through the hands. Oh! Canelio spills the gravy.
And again, they just have not capitalised on good front foot ball. They're just shooting themselves in the foot with these schoolboy errors. It's absolutely killing him. Anthony Matheson must be spewing on the sideline.
But I would be very happy to the fact that they've got Mitch King back on the paddock. We haven't seen him in for most of the season. Been out with injury. So it's my understanding he's going to, it's obviously not a full game for him today, but they're kind of working with him in the injury that he's had.
Yeah,
so I think that's a massive
Mitch
positive
King is
addition.
an absolute weapon. So to be able to bring him on is huge.
Fine.
Call what side?
Set.
Knees, nothing, knees.
Wait.
Wait, you've got him here. Knees, dust. Break left.
Here we go. Penalty. And this is, you know, despite the errors, Jay, a 7-man scrum schooling an 8-man scrum at this level, my hat goes off to Anthony Matheson.
That's
I'll go
absolutely
and have a
massive.
chat
And you
now.
saw
Wait,
there, Fred Burke was absolutely feeding Dustin Hennigan. Was just holding on to him, and Dustin Hennigan's trying to walk away, but wouldn't let him get out of his side as he just absolutely sprayed
And you can
it.
see that that's the 3 front rowers right there. You can see the body language on them. They know that they're getting schooled.
Oh, they got absolutely munted in that scrum, and I think James Crackett there, he's the fresh sub, and I don't think he's having a good time thus far.
And here we go, Ala Timu. Penalty conversion, 3 points, and the lead, all in one. Strikes, flags. The Gallopers, for the first time this match, they find the lead in the 59th minute.
Now they're down a player, and it looks like they're actually warming up Radiki Samo on the sideline.
Oh, warming up, I believe he is on the field.
You ripper. This is what we all came to see, you beauty.
And going off, it looks like it'll be Daniel Byrne. Fantastic game for Daniel Byrne.
Yeah, played a blinder, but I guess if you can bring Radiki Samo on, you've got to get him out.
Well, Radiki's back from Japan this year. You know, I think they've been getting him fit over the last few rounds here at the Gallopers, and you know, another seasoned head to have. And there we see that's a great take by Patrick James. This kid is everywhere. And here we go, brothers. Kurandrani, he's going to try a contest, but he knows to stop. Tupou. Samo. Here they go, the brethren down the wing. That's some fantastic hands. They're going to hold on to it. They're going to keep trying to work. But the Gallopers are going to try to send them out, but they won't get them there. Here they go, James. Bailey. Flick of the feet. Here they go down the short side. Down the... Oh, and that's some great cover defense from Pat Nicholson. A little bit of a flaunt. Bailey sends it out. A little bit of a fend there from Corbanici. Wall. Brothers, they're employing some fast rugby here. Going to try outrun the Gallopers. Wall. Oh, hits a very stiff Teddy Postel. Here they go, through the hands again. Expansive rugby. They're loving it. Tupou. Tupou.
Yeah. Are you happy with that side, Geordie? I'll leave you that side. Thanks. Oh, was it ends attached? Oh, they'll take it.
And we see great response from Jeeps J. Brothers putting on this fast-moving, expansive rugby, and they're responding with great sliding defence.
Well, I mean, the Brothers boys need to be doing that. They need to be using that numerical advantage. But as you said, Jeeps just pushing hard. You saw, I think it was Pat Nicholson just shot it. Absolutely blindside special on, I think it was Will Shipley, caught a bit of a hospital pill, but he absolutely snotted him. And that's what they need to be doing. They need to be matching up heavily in defence.
Set! Steady. Wait.
Hold!
We see there, and here comes the cheese. Dustin Hennigan, 10 minutes for you, sir. And that's an interesting turn of events, because that's going to level out
Here's the mark. Make sure they're all behind
the numbers in the game for the next 10 minutes.
It's absolutely huge in the context of this game to be able to, I mean, they're absolutely munting them in the scrums, and they're doing it with down a player. So imagine if they can even up now.
Yeah, and remember, as well as the clash going on here between the Brethren and the Gallopers, we're also live streaming the battle between Sunnybank and the University of Queensland at Old Mac. So if you can tune into that game via redsrugby.com.au, that one's probably going to finish up about 10 or 15 minutes before we do. So a lot of rugby. Oh, and they've done it again. Richards links up. Great running there. They've pulled the same trick twice. And that's another card. We're down to rugby league numbers.
This has just blown the game wide open. Ben Hine, unlucky, lifted him and buried him down there. So
Now, that is, I'm a little bit speechless here. The penalty count is astronomical.
and by no fault of
Marshall
Rachel
and
Horton at
Matheson
all.
are going to have a field day and debrief after this game, because I'm not sure whether it's just, the heat of the occasion. There's a lot on the line here. And it's like we discussed earlier when we looked at the breakdown. Brothers, they've got to find some way of getting, at a minimum, a little toe into that top four, or at least give them, do themselves a favour and get them close. But 2 yellow cards in as many minutes.
It's blown the game wide open. I mean,
It kind of dwarfs Ryan Freeney's little indiscretion.
yeah, it does. I mean, they're actually a numerical advantage for 10 minutes.
But it still didn't do
Going into
anything in the
final
forwards.
period.
They were getting
It's-
bested by 7. What's going to happen now that it's,
Can you
what,
check
7 on
the Brothers
6?
have anyone for a front row stop?
I'm not too sure what they're going to try and use here, whether they bring some wingers on, but that's going to leave a massive, massive overlap out wide. So
They can do it if it's their ball. And then, they're going to guarantee possession, because I think that's going to be absolutely critical. Hold in possession, try and last the 10 minutes, get within close, and, take a leaf out of South's book, besting East, and look for that penalty, look for the infield goal.
But, I mean, you said it yourself. They're getting absolutely smashing these scrums whilst down a player for Jeeps. So, if you're down 1 or 2 players against this team that's absolutely smashing you with 8,
Can I just
Good luck to
comment?
ya.
Can I just comment? Radiki Samo is a very big human. He is not small.
oh, he's a monster.
And he's also one of the nicest guys you can ever have a chat to.
And he's probably the quickest over 60 metres of anybody on the field.
Oh.
He's an enigma. Not anymore. How old is he now? He'd be pushing 50 or something
60.
now, wouldn't
I think there's going to be a few contenders to pit him for 60 metres, mate.
he? Mate, ask the All Blacks, circa 2011. Where he got that runaway try from 60 metres out.
Oh, but, I don't... If I had to say a better moment, it might have been... I'll leave that one alone. Anyway, yeah, so massive times here, and we're seeing the wingers are jumping in. That'll be Pat Nicholson on the side. And it's 8 versus 6. This is like under 12s.
This is going to be devastating.
I don't want to say stampede, but here they go. 1 metre. Rich at the back. King. 2 metres. Oh, King.
no.
He's let it slip, but King will go himself. Welcome back to Premier Grade. And it looks like
Thank you.
frustrations are boiling over on the field, Jay, but that is really, you start to get a bit when it comes to these games. We look here on the double take replay. King, he's a bit out of training there. He's let one get away from him, but he just brings it all on back with a great try, 1 on 3. Gave it a bit of
Early on, but he was able to just pick it up. Will Shipley had a crack at him, missed him, and then Henry Fitzgerald had no chance. So that far out, you're not stopping someone like Mitch King at all.
Well, the big thing is here, I was talking about Spidey sense before, a bit of intuition. I've got a feeling that Brothers are going to have a really hard time here slowing down this raging Gallopers team.
Well, we've seen it all year. Teams go down and then they obviously come back up with the points.
And you know what's one thing we should all be worrying about? It's going to be the Wallabies versus Italy, Saturday the 24th of June, 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's taking place at Suncorp. And for all matchday and ticketing information, head on over to redsrugby.com.au. Here's Alatimu. And he'll push it just right. But not to fear. And, of course, we are going to be closed. The game over at Sunnybank in Uni, it's going to be drawing to a close any moment now, so there's still a bit of time there. But that one can be viewed via redsrugby.com.au. It is our second live stream. And some live results from around the ground. Souths have bested North 52 points to 28, and East have downed the Doggies 31 to 12. But back to the game at hand. Oh, the Kihamia. Great work there from the prop. Alatimu, little chip. Does he have the elements there? But the ball will go out.
Smart play there from Alatimu. We saw, obviously, they've got the numerical advantage. Saw the brothers back three push back pretty far. Unfortunately, didn't sit up, but they're absolutely looking to feed it to this brothers outfit while they've got a player up, because obviously 5 minutes from now, they're down a player for the remaining 8 minutes. So they need to be coming away with as many points as possible.
Extend that
in
margin.
This period.
Here we go. Saya. And that is not the neatest of lineouts, but it'll do. Oh, and here goes Wall. Wall stays in. Genny will wrap him up and bring him down between the train tracks. From the back there, good run from Postal. That'll be a penalty. Here we go, not wasting any time. Good hammering run here from Shipley. And here's Kurandrani. Links up. Masaki Thakau. This looks like it's not the only nail biter. Uni have bested Sunnybank 31 to 27. We're going to touch on that one a bit later once we finish up here. Here's Winkley. Winkley inside. Good ball to Cavellio. Canelio, kick and chase. That'll be a high shot. Patrick James, I'm not sure what he wanted from Horton there, but I think the pickings are going to be a bit slim for the Brethren for another 4 or 5 minutes while they've got these players off.
Yeah, it looks like he was probably just trying to chew up a few more minutes on the clock.
Yes, so can we check please if there are any, just checking the competition rules if there are any. Have we been through the correct number of subs?
So it's been a big day of rugby for the Queensland Premier competition.
Keep the gap, please. Both sides?
Ground announcer just echoing what we've said before. UQ bested the Dragons 31 to 27. South's 52 to North's 28. And West went down 12 points to 31 against East. But here we go, the Gallopers, they're on. Samu! The crowd roars with elation. Alatimu. Oh, very wise decision from the 5'8 there. Chose to hold on to it. Here's King. King offloads to Samu. But Samu loses it. Here's Tupou. One-on-ones against Troy Simpkin.
And again, we saw, you can see right there, the penalties conceded. Not only that, the turnovers and the handling errors from Jeeps are just absolutely killing them. They should be ahead by a lot more in regards to where
we're seeing a penalty nearly every 2.5 minutes for the entirety of this game. That is a huge amount of penalties being given away. And, you know, we looked at last week's match between Souths and West. Were not many there to be had. But this week, this is, I think there's I think some passions are running a little bit high out there, and it's forcing a little bit of dangerous play. Oh, that was some great hands from Eli Bailey. Brothers now, looking good. Tupou. Oh, he runs into a wall of green. The Brethren, they're really going to have to make something happen here. Time is not on their side, and neither are the numbers. Oh, bit of a fend, bit of a bounce off there by Bailey. Does well. From the back, they're slowly working their way up. Oh, and a stray pass out the back. It'll be regathered though. La Rosa does well. La Rosa rolls. Long place. Down the short side, they've got options. James, manhandled to the floor. Wall, oh, that was a fantastic take. The exact kind of take they need to be doing now. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Postel jumps in. Eli Bailey. Offending Fiend. Malakiamia goes one-on-one. Here, he's just etching closer and closer. Their players will be returning to the field momentarily. They're behind 6 points. A try and a conversion will get them there. Oh, that was high. And this game is drawing right out to the death, Jay.
Yeah, it's a nail biter, and it looks like they're probably, brothers are at least going to get one of their blokes back right now. So this is massive, massive opportunity for them. They can absolutely put this Jeep side to the sword if they can get something here.
Well, that's the other thing. You know, they've really got to stall for another 60 seconds, and they'll get one more. So, you know,
Time.
it'll be interesting to see.
Time's off.
I'm sure they'll say it was all part of the plan. We'll wait, we'll get within striking distance, and the boys will be back, and we can all ride off into the sunset back to Crosby Road.
It's all just tactics, that's what it is.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we can make. He's got hope. Yeah.
Now, everyone, make sure you're at Ballymore on Sunday, June 25th. It's the Queensland Premier Grade Presidents 15 going head-to-head with the Queensland Country Healers. We will have a team that comprises of all of our Premier Grade players that haven't been selected for higher honours yet, and also a team for our Colts as well. They'll take on the Healers, and it's, I think, a continuing battle, Jay, that really showcases the relationship between the city and the country in Queensland.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for some of those blokes out in those country areas to be able to showcase their wares to some of the Premier clubs. You know, there are opportunities for them to obviously come down and, you know, maybe get headhunted and give it a crack in regards to moving up into higher honours and obviously Super Rugby and so on. So it's a great opportunity for everyone statewide to be able to see what's out there.
Here we go, brethren. It's back to 7v7 for the forwards. Fake at the front. Go back to the front. Oh, that'll be so much of a crushing blow there for the brethren.
Yeah, it looks
Ruben
like
Wall.
Teddy Postal was spewing there, put his hand straight on his headgear as soon as it happened.
And rightly so, because the thing now is that the Gallopers, they're just going
all right,
to...
now we got time off again.
We're going to time off.
Yeah.
There we go. Gareth
Yep.
Ryan
Perfect,
returns
thank
to
you.
the field. We're back
Yes.
to
Yeah.
a full complement. Brothers side. It's a 15v14 match.
No, the screen's wrong now. I'm at 33-40. So we got about 7 and a little bit, okay?
We're not far off up here at 73,
Yeah.
33-40 on the clock.
Yep. And
So we've got about 7
Ted,
minutes left.
Ted, ignore that
And
clock,
when we have a
because
quick
we're
look at this
out of
territory in
sync with
possession,
that clock
Jay, it's
again.
telling
Just
us
ask me if you
another
want. We got
big
7 and a
story.
little bit left, okay?
Obviously, territory
Right.
60 to 40.
Okay.
That hasn't changed. When we go down to the possession,
Here we are. If
the brethren,
find out.
you know, they're
Hopefully
clawing
won't
themselves
find out.
back a
We'll
bit
see.
here.
Here we
They found, you know, a bit of a 5% swing, and
Yeah,
with
when they're off, yeah. Let's go. Here we are.
and
Time's
with
on.
you know 7 minutes left on the clock, they're inside the Jeeps 22 with now the numbers on their side. It's done a big sway now.
Yeah, the stats showing there, obviously the territory in possession, show that Jeep should be up by more than 6. If they don't come away with the win here because of that, because of their handling errors and their turnovers and their penalties, they will rue the fact that they've squandered such great opportunities in the territory in possession.
Oh,
stats.
there we go. King at the back. Here he goes. That's so, from both sides, that's sensational.
Keep going. Move,
The
move,
brethren
move.
are somehow holding on to this.
It's out.
King. Now that's something you don't see every day. A scrum that goes for 10 to 15 metres and doesn't get blown up for a penalty. Genia from the back. Genia goes back to short side. Back goes himself. Space around the breakdown. No thank you. From the back of the breakdown. Mitch King, he's grabbing at those ribs. That's where his injury was. He's going to have to be careful. There he's gone for the pick and drive.
Let's see.
He has to release the roll.
We need to dig it out. Your player's got the hand.
Alatimu, that's straight up. About 10 to 1, and it'll come off 2 Jeeps defenders. Attackers, I dare say. And, you know, that might have come down to wasn't enough calling going. Someone should have taken possession of that jump, and they might have gotten away with that ball.
Yeah, it hung up there for a while. I thought it was going to bring rain for a moment, but that's the sort of stuff they should be doing, trying to put a bit of pressure back on the
It's actually funny that you say that, because it looks like there might be a little bit on the way.
Yeah, it is actually looking pretty gloomy.
Start calling Alatimu the weatherman.
No, 4.5 to go.
4.5 minutes remaining on the clock.
Um,
Yeah, and I think referee Rachel Horton absolutely right. This will probably go down as
if
one of the
he's coming
longer
off for an
Premier
injury,
Grade
that
matches
means
of
we're
this
uncontested
season.
again. Does that just let me know?
Yeah, the
when you
light's
send
been
us
on
our
for
one,
quite a
please?
while now, actually.
15 first, we've got to go for the scrum. Let's go.
4.5, sorry. 4.5. 4.5.
5 minutes.
4.5 minutes remaining for this match. The Jeeps narrowly up 16 points to 10. All brothers have to do is find the opportunity to get down, get over that line, and they just put it into the hands of Patrick James to find 2, and they can snatch a nostalgic reverse win against the Gallopers.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Uncontested.
massive
They've been
finish
through all
this
their
game,
front rows.
as you heard
I've
before
got them
Rachel
to,
Horton saying
I've got them to
4.5
check it on the
minutes to
sideline.
go.
We're just uncontested
You know, they're
now.
really
Okay,
going to have to
he's
put
injured,
in here to
okay?
make sure that they do get down into the Jeeps
No, we've
territory
been through
and
it.
then come
If they
away
go
with a
through all
try.
their, if they go through all their props, then that's it. Let's go, please.
This is strategic. He's scrummed down there before.
This is
He's
no, thank you. He's not on their front row stops. I've asked
It's a
them to
danger
check
thing.
it.
We did it before. It was fine.
Let's go,
They're
please.
taking it out of the game.
Thank you,
And it looks like
Dan.
Trent Anderson, he's back on deck.
No, it's uncontested.
Still doesn't
so we
change
just need
the
to
fact,
lean on
though,
binds
that
and they will win, please. Thank you.
50, my ball.
Head in though. Crouch. Bind. Do bind, please. Set.
And this is something that you
Hold,
don't
hold,
see.
hold.
We've had to go to uncontested scrums because of injuries, cards, and
Roll.
just general fatigue on the players. So it's time for the backs to shine. Here we go. From the back, James links up. Good little run. They're coming down the far side. The Brethren push their way over the 40. Wall from the back. Hits James. Good run by Hine, but he is chopped. James out the back. Running. Oh, and that was
Yes.
forward.
Yeah, and you heard in that
So
previous
that's
scrum,
what I
obviously.
asked to check on the competition rules. So drop one out of this of the scrum or out of the. Okay.
Yes, so you can hear there Rachel Horton in that last scrum was actually the reason for the delay
No,
was they were
please tell
actually
me
trying
in
to find
full-
out what the
Here we go, time
competition
off.
rules were in
Time off.
regards to uncontested scrums.
So who needs to drop who out of where? Thank you. Can I get clarification, please?
Now,
Play on? All right, thank you. Here we go. Sorry, I've just got a lot coming off the sideline. Here we are. Here we are.
hasn't this been a game of up and downs?
hasn't it?
3 minutes. Uncontested.
Penalty counts
Yeah.
sitting at 29
you.
combined. Turnovers conceded 22. Handling errors 19.
Crouch.
And tackles missed
Bind.
at 19. There's been
Set.
a lot to be desired for both these teams.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. It's been a bit sloppy in some of those key areas.
Here's Kurandrani. Going to try and inject himself into the dying seconds of this game.
Advantage offside.
Penalty to the Gallopers. They're going to work with this. Genia. Oh, wall floats. Look him out. Loses it. We're going to come back to the penalty
Playing
against
advantage.
Brothers for the offside. And that'll draw up 30 penalties for the match.
Oh, your number. Whatever his number
Yeah,
is.
it's been a bit of a bludger in regards to those
I'm
stakes.
22 offside.
But quite rightly, look, I think Rachel Horton's had a great game. She's dictating the rules well. She's making sure that everything, as you said, it seems it might just be a bit spiteful, and that's what's happening there. Really hitting breakdowns hard. You know, some of the penalties have been high shots or, you know, even punches from Freeney. So, you know, it's not ideal in those situations, and it seems it's gotten to the head of a few blokes out there.
And here we go. Brothers desperately fighting for survival. They need to start finding some wins. They've got a lot of ladder to climb, and Jeeps have stopped them in a sensational way this afternoon. Simpkins throws up. And it looks like Michael Richards is back on deck. Samo's ball in hand. He's going to try, awkwardly goes across his body with the ball, but here they go. Genia slaps him on the bum, says, keep going, we've got this. The Gallopers slowly working their way up. They're going to try and, and the ball's been loose. And Richards does so well, regathers. And it's picked up and put down. Gallopers still in possession here. 3 odd minutes left in the game. They're going to keep working their way up. There's Anderson. Genia offloads it. Simpkin has a run. You're going to keep going on. King. Samu. Wasn't the prettiest of drives, but he's maintained ball security. Malaki Amea. This is sensational. Picking and driving 25 metres. Genia goes down the short side. He's got the forwards lining up. Oh, Kurandrani gets involved. He nearly scrambles his way towards the line. The Gallopers. And they've knocked it on. What a sensational set of phase play there. In excess of probably 15 phases of picking and driving.
This will be last play.
And this is the last play.
This is last play.
Now, we saw earlier in the Prem Colts game here, the Gallopers from, you know, the depths of defeat somehow broke free, ran a full field try and stole the game away from Brothers. Can the Brethren do a repeat?
Yeah.
You never know, and that's the thing. Again, the handling errors, the turnovers, that could be the death knell for this Jeep side if Brothers can go away with it here.
There's 80 minutes.
Still behind the ball.
Very uneventful scrum. They're going to work it through the hands. Bailey sends it out wide. That's going to float. Defense is on. Kurandrani nearly had it. That could be a try. And that's in front of an astounding 130-year anniversary home crowd, star-studded with old boys, sponsors and spectators. Will be a victory for the home team, the Gallopers. What a game, Jay. It was such a different flavour of game than what we've seen in the first 11 rounds. And to its credit, it brought its own challenges. And, you know, this is mostly represented when we look at these statistics. So, obviously, the big one, 16-10. But I think, you know, penalty counts, turnovers conceded, handling errors and tackles missed, that was where the game was going to be decided today. Who could do less of those?
Yeah, it was actually whoever did, as you said, the less of all the evils that you could possibly do would win. And, you know, Jeeps came away with it, but their stats are not in their favour. They gave away penalties. They dropped the pill in fantastic opportunity as well. So, you know, it's interesting to see that they were able to come away with the W despite all those things going against them.
But one thing that hasn't changed that much in this match, the territory and possession have stayed pretty much 64 to territory. Changing. And then the possession 54 to 46. We've seen a little bit of fluctuation there, but you know, if you took away, you peeled back all of the errors from this game, you know, if anything, I think that's quite a scary thing to think about. If these teams can clean that up as we get towards the end of the season and they can make that top 4, add back in some players that come off injury and coming down from Super Rugby, these teams are going to be very formidable.
Oh, 100%. You saw they were able to bring people like Chris Kurandrani and Radiki Samo off the bench. So, both sides are going to be devastating if they can get in that top 4.
But they've got a lot of making up to do. And before we go any further, let's have a look at some of the replays from today's match. Starts high over the Oliver's shoulders, but it didn't stop the Brethren straight up. And it started off with a fantastic first try there from Ted Postel.
And then obviously Ted Postel got that first try, but then it was that hard unders ball from Todd Winkley there, caught just before the try line, and they pick and go a few times. And I think it was Dan Byrne, the second rower, smart play, sees that he shouldn't have to try and pick and go too far, picks it up, dots it down. Rachel Horton sees it and gives the try there.
Straight away. And then we came here. Now this, definitely a point of contention. And the mark was ratified. They gave it to him. And I think that will be one up for discussion. But here we see great return to the game for Mitch King. He was a bit out of form there in the number 8 position, but he found it. Came back, went 3-on-1 and got himself a try, and that was a massive try because that propelled them back into the lead. And that was the thing. We didn't have a high-scoring game today. There was so much rugby played between the 22s, Jay, that, it was from all the errors we had. There was just so much kicking for exit. You saw the lineouts were getting tired because they had to do so many, and the scrums eventually went uncontested. So hard day for the forwards, and that's where all the cards were.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at one stage there was only... I think there was 4 people that rode behind at one stage, and obviously Freeney sat out the final 25 minutes. So it was a gutbuster of a match. The skills were down, but the defense was up, and it was actually pretty exciting considering the 16-10 scoreline.
Well, Jay, what are you doing on the 13th of June?
Not too sure why. What's
on?
Oh,
mate, I'm thinking at about 9:30 in the evening. We should be watching the Australia under-20s versus the Italy under-20s, which will be live on Fox Sports.
Why not?
Well, the thing is with the under-20s, they had such a great game against England, and that came right down to the line. And obviously the Wallabies are taking on Italy on the 24th of June at 3 p.m. at Suncorp, and obviously all ticketing information and player information and game information we found at redsrugby.com.au. And before we go any further, let's talk about all the rugby that's just happened. Obviously here, Jeeps have found the win, 16-10 over the Brethren here, so that's a big one for them. And UQ and Sunnybank, what a nail biter, 31-27.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been an absolute ripper of a match to watch considering, I mean, just getting up, the students just getting up, they were down at the half, so it would have been an absolute ripper. Second time in 2 weeks. Yeah, so it goes to show, I mean, they're a young outfit, that uni side, but they are playing with a very, very wise sort of style of play. And then obviously around the ground we saw Souths got up 52 points to 28 over Norths in the Battle of the Birds, and then East getting up over the West 31-12 at Skyfleet Stadium.
Absolutely, and we can't go any further without mentioning our phenomenal sponsors. Special mention to the sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby, including the major sponsor for Jeeps, which is McDonald's Newmarket, and for the Brethren, it will be Ray White Ascot. So, big day for both teams. Let's have a look at what's going on next week. And when we have a look at the matchups for next week, Bond are hosting Norths down the coast. The Brethren will be bringing the Tigers to the party. A Tigers team, which have been playing some pretty good rugby, mind you. The Dragons will try look for redemptions when they go against Souths over at Old Mac, and the Students will be hosting the Bulldogs in the Western Derby. So lots to go on. Now, Jay, thank you very much for joining us today for the broadcast. It's been an absolute cracker, and I look forward to you joining us next week.
As I say, it's always a pleasure to do it, Marty.
Thank you. And that is full-time here at the Glue Factory, Yoku Road. The Gallopers season back on track. They've got finals in their sights. They're going to stay in the top 4. Such a fantastic result for them. And what a fantastic atmosphere down here for the 130th anniversary for Jeeps. Lots of people around, still around, going to be involved well into the night, I imagine. Like always, we're going to be back next week with not 1 but 2 live streams. We're also going to have the breakdown, power plays, and I think a bit of a comical sauce on the sidelines coming at you this week. As always, my name is Martin Lippiett. Thank you very much for joining us, and good evening.